In Kendrick Lamar's fourth studio album, Damn, the topic of the soul and its dark struggle with itself and existence is explored. Damn was a hard-hitting, lyrically packed, and commercially viable album, a stark sonic difference than its predecessor, To Pimp a Butterfly. Damn was more fun and mainstream. Despite this though, it still had a lot to say, and didn't lose any of the deep content that Kendrick Lamar has come to be known for. In this video, we will examine some of the topics that Kendrick Lamar explores in this hard as fuck album. If you like analytical videos on the deeper meaning of hip-hop culture and art, and its connection in relation to other mediums, then subscribe and stay tuned for more videos like this. As I listened to Damn, I was entranced by the in-your-face drums, strange, moody samples, and some of the themes of humanity Kendrick chooses to shed light on. The idea of fear and the darkness of a soul and the cruel existence that lives around it. Kendrick dives into these topics and paints them in such an honest, humane way that we as listeners can't help but relate and feel the same way. Starting off with the idea of fear, Kendrick delves into this ancient emotion and explores what it means in his own view. For Kendrick, fear comes in three main ways. Fear that he gained growing up in the hood and with his mother, fear of dying in the hood due to gang violence and police brutality, and his lack of confidence in his ability and the fear of losing all that he has built for himself. All of these things are pressing matters for Kendrick, and as usual, he holds nothing back in telling us. Kendrick starts off with the innate fear of growing up in the hood with a parent like his. Kendrick starts the verse from the perspective of his mother talking down to him as an adolescent. His mother continually hounds him and threatens to beat his ass if he misbehaves. She'll beat him if he talks back, if he goes out and steals, if he says the game he has broke, probably due to him breaking it himself, if he jumps on the couch. She'll beat him if he runs away from bullies, and she'll force him back outside, which makes things worse for him as he now fears the bullies and his mom. She'll beat him if he's not doing well in school, or if he's being wasteful, or if he's frolicking with girls or acting out. To a lot of people of this soft-ass generation, this may seem like pure terror and misery, and as a recipient of such treatment, I can tell you that it can be pretty terrifying and miserable, but it's also a good thing. I've not turned out too bad as of late. I mean, I'm not out here acting wild and doing crazy bullshit, and that's because of my upbringing. These types of tactics are meant to instill fear in you, and through that fear, discipline. The mother doesn't act out of meanness, but ultimately, love. Same way my parents did. Just like the fear of God, which is another big topic in this album, which we'll discuss in another video, it is meant to instill order in one's life, which seems to be lost in a lot of parenting today. But that's another topic. The next angle of fear that Kendrick Lamar explores is the fear of dying too young. Kendrick grew up in the hood, in the gutter of society, and in that environment, there are many threats that present to end one's life. We've all seen the hood movies, from Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood, South Central, Fresh, Top Boy, The Wire, and so on and so on. These shows shed light on how dark and sinister the ghetto is, or rather, how dangerous a poor environment can be at any moment. Whether it be at the corner, at school, at the neighborhood party, or even in your own house, the hood presents itself as a menacing, evil god that is always ready to take your life. Like Marduk, Zeus, Shango, or the Christian god, you don't know when this entity will switch from being loving and calmly indifferent to wanting to tear your head off. Kendrick walks every day through his teenage life with this fear. He wonders if his dreams will ever be realized, if he'll ever make it out the hood and the poverty and horror that surrounds him. This type of fear can be crippling, get into one's soul and hold one back. If one doesn't have the tenacity and will to continue forward, it will succeed. The last type of fear that Kendrick chooses to look at is his fear of losing everything that he's gained. You ever been in such a good spot in your life? A place so great, so benign, that you felt scared? Anxious? It felt too good to be true, so you thought to yourself, some bad thing is probably coming to mess up my flow right now. Well, that's another fear that Kendrick chooses to explore. In the last part of the song, Kendrick chooses to look at his fear of low self-esteem. Kendrick feels like he may not deserve what he has, or that it's a trick being played on him by God, and that at any moment, everything he has gained will be ripped from him in an instant. It brings to one's mind the story of Job. Job was an upright nigga, a man who was God-fearing and did his dues. At the beginning of the story, Job has so much to be envied, especially by the people of his day. He has tons of children, daughters, and sons, lots of cattle and land, and so many other blessings that are too many to count. Later on though, as a bet between Satan and God, All of his blessings and wealth are taken away from him by God. His family is killed, horrifically I might add, and all his possessions erased. His health even deteriorates. Everything goes to for this guy, and it is truly sad. He keeps his faith though, until he's fed up and he talks back and challenges God for how he's treated one of his most loyal servants. God answers back like an angry black mother, and then gives Job back all that he's lost and then some. Kendrick feels like Job. He's been blessed, he's one of the hottest artists, not only in hip hop, but in music. And he is rich beyond his dreams, and has a faithful, loyal woman by his side. He has respect, notoriety, and he didn't have to sacrifice his dignity to achieve all of this. What more could a man want? Well, Kendrick feels that because he has these things, God is waiting around the corner like Loki or some mischievous god, ready to rip him of all he has earned and destroy his world completely. This type of fear can be crippling, mainly mentally, but the mental governs everything, so in the end it spills over into everything. In exploring these three types of fear, Kendrick not only pulls us into his own world, but sheds light on fear too. He shows us how it seeps into our lives in so many different ways, from the mundane to the extreme, and the way he lays it so straightforward over a moody beat, he really paints the world vividly, not only in image, but in feeling as well. The next topic Kendrick goes into is the darkness of the soul, as it is exhibited through a person living in the hood. In Triple X, Kendrick goes into the state of the ghetto in modern day USA. Kendrick examines the mind state of someone who lives in such an environment and how rugged, selfish, and cutthroat they can be. With lines like, "Throw a stake off the ark to a pool full of sharks, he'll take it. Leave him in the wilderness with a sworn nemesis, he'll make it. Take the gratitude from him, I bet he'll show you something, whoa. And I'll chip a nigga a little bit of nothing. I'll chip a nigga a little bit of nothing. I'll chip a nigga a little bit of nothing. I'll chip a little nigga, then throw the bro in his lap. Walk myself to the court like, bitch, I did that, X-rated." Kendrick shows how hard, gutter, and dark people in the hood can think. Niggas in the hood don't really think saint-like, and they certainly aren't always the best of people. Kendrick goes into the mind state of people like this and shows it from a first-person perspective. The pool of sharks is a representation. Whether you throw a stake at these people or you leave them in a wilderness amongst other wild beings, they'll find a way to make it. They'll find a way to survive, and it won't always be in a peaceful and quote-unquote good way either. Matter of fact, it might never be. With the second line, "I'll chip a nigga a little bit of nothing. I'll chip a nigga, then throw the blower in his lap, walk myself to the court like, bitch, I did that, X-rated." Kendrick is saying that he gives no fucks. He has a "I don't care" type of mentality, which is very common in a place like the ghetto. Kendrick portrays the reality of the hood. It's disgusting, almost irredeemable, and scary. He shows that niggas in the hood don't really give two fucks and will do whatever to gain what it is they want. When you walk in an environment where constantly you are reminded of how messed up people are, you gain a growing fear and anxiety. Kendrick then goes on to talk about how the youth are influenced in the hood, not just by drug dealers and criminals around them, but by the government and the media they see on TV. Lines like, "Johnny don't wanna go to school no more, no more. Johnny said books ain't cool no more, no more. Johnny wanna be a rapper like his big cousin. Johnny caught a body yesterday out hustling. God bless America, you know we all love him." This portrays how young black American youth are dissuaded from pursuing academics and the like. Black men are motivated to chase a rap career, a basketball and football career. And if you ain't good for that, well, you might as well chase a drug dealer career. All of this is seen in the media through movies, music, and TV shows. A youth growing up in the hood doesn't seem to have many options, or shown many options, so they end up being trapped. I mean, think about it. You're a young man, or woman, and you barely have a father around to show you what's what. Your mother doesn't know how to raise you. You see top niggas around you making money and getting that bread, and you see that the good way, which is usually the longer way, doesn't give you quick money. What are you going to do? I mean, you're hungry, sometimes physically and figuratively, and you want more in your life, like most humans do. In that case, you're going to take the route that is most beneficial to you. That route, though, is filled with bleakness, emptiness, and nothing at the end, but you won't know until you get there. Kendrick shows this quite well in this track, Triple X. The darkness, the bleakness, the emptiness, the nihilistic emotional behavior that leads nowhere, Kendrick shies from nothing. All in all, on his album Damn, Kendrick takes a dive into dark themes such as fear and the realities of living in an environment that is wrought with danger and bad influence and the implications of such things, and sheds the light fully to us, so that we can see its true horrid reality. This is what makes Kendrick Lamar's Damn an endearing, artistic work and a great commentary on the darkness of the existence of man. This is what makes Damn a damn good album. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more videos and analyses just like this. If you see what I'm seeing, or not, let me know in the comment section, and why. Thanks, and peace.